If you could cast any D&D spell in real life, what spell would you choose? I've asked a question like this before previously, except last time it was if you could cast any cantrip. Now we're moving on to the big boys, we're moving on to all of the spells. This shouldn't be that big of a difference, there's about 100 cantrips. How many spells are there? Okay, that's over 400 spells. I am gonna need some help ranking all these spells, which is why I got a friend, John Sand, from the Critter Miss podcast to help me out with ranking each and every spell.
Conjure animals.
It's useful, but also could be used for so much evil.
It says they're friendly to you. Ooh, so this is kind of like the Snow White spell.
But the thing with them is they summoned woodland creatures. This is also instant lion spell.
Of course, not every spell is created equal. We had to rank the spells differently based off of what level they were. So we started at the first level spells and then ranked our way up to the 9th level. And since there are 2 of us ranking the spells, it shouldn't take that long. Right? What do you mean we spent 11 hours ranking these spells? We started with the first level spells. There were a few of them which we deemed to be detrimental, which means casting these spells would make your life actually worse.
If it's a spell where it just does damage, yeah, it makes someone run away from you, it's very funny. 3d6 psychic damage, they're probably gonna be dead before they run away from you.
This is instant aneurysm.
I would say not very useful.
Okay, there is the rap battle defense, but if I maybe if it's not an aneurysm, maybe I just say something so raw that it fully just deflates someone's will. I feel like that one is detrimental because if I have dissonant whispers, I'm probably using it every day just to drop the most raw line.
Next were the not very useful spells, which are mostly just the damage dealers. Murder isn't very useful in my day-to-day.
Now, Burning Hands
It's just a flamethrower.
a very controlled flamethrower.
I think flamethrowers are already pretty controlled.
Honestly, I think a flamethrower is better as like a gun than my hands.
How steady are your hands?
In a situation where for some reason I need a flamethrower, probably not the most.
The most I can think of is like lighting a campfire.
Or maybe like a very specific shape of people need their cigarettes lit.
Oh my god, we all have our doobies and not a light. what are we to do? Everyone get in a cone.
Everyone be so careful.
Don't fucking move.
We have spells with a very rare application, which means you're not really going to be casting these spells.
Chromatic orb. Okay, now hear me out. Have you ever tried to create the perfect whiskey ball?
I'm 19.
Oh, okay. Well, imagine like a really cool ice cube. I'm not saying it's the most practical application, but it's not useless.
These are the sorta okay spells. They're a little less niche because John has this one specific problem that tends to reoccur.
Bane, if you're petty, extremely useful. Imagine if you have a nemesis and you want to make your nemesis look as bad as possible.
Dealing with a potential nemesis factored more into ranking these spells than I would have wanted you to think. Now we move on to actually useful first level spells. These spells you would probably cast in your day-to-day that you could actually find some use out of. We put Magic Missile up here because it'd be really good for like bug management. There's a lot you can do with an auto hit Magic Missile, but we also found some other spells with some more creative uses.
Wait. You could prove if God was real.
Beyond the useful is the life-changing, these spells which would totally alter the events of your life if you were able to cast them. Also, during the ranking, John and I had to make a new category. We called this the horseshoe category because having these spells would make you so powerful it would probably make you a worse person. Thus being so useful it looped right back to being detrimental.
But this one is another, I feel it's like a horseshoe one.
It's a
'Cause
horseshoe
you can
situation.
say any word. I just walk up to my nemesis and say shit. Like, it's useful, but it's like, how do you not become a monster?
No one should have that kind of power. We also had to make a new category when we started on the 2nd level spells, the so freaking rad category. This category includes spells that are totally useless except for just being totally rad. For the 2nd level detrimental spells, we included spells that aren't inherently bad but would probably do more harm than good.
Heat metal. That might be a horseshoe spell.
I don't know if it's a horseshoe, because like, how often do you see somebody in armor? Ooh, no, this could be a horseshoe, because you know what people are in all the time?
Cars.
Cars.
But they're not sitting on metal. They're not touching the metal. They would just be inside of
but this would blow up the car.
Oh, yeah.
All the not very useful spells are really just the damage dealing ones. The next category would be more useful but very specific circumstances.
Locate animals or plants.
Life-changing spell. You can find weed immediately.
That's life-changing for you.
But also, Well, no, there was other stuff.
The sorta okay spells didn't really improve much after. It took some real stretching to find some uses for these ones.
Dust Devil. It's like a little mini tornado. It can knock stuff over. Oh, this might actually be really good for like cleaning your house.
That's actually kind of dope.
It's a 1 minute vacuum, basically.
Decent anti-nemesis spell. Put my nemesis in a mini tornado? That sounds like a nightmare. This is also discount Cloud of Daggers. If I have knives on hand, I just throw that into the tornado.
And then we have the actual useful spells, which some of them I weren't even expecting to be useful, but we found a way to make them useful.
Arcane Lock. Ooh. Do you remember that one stand-up bit where they say, like, you can do so much chaos with just a bike lock?
Yeah. Okay, so we were in the same lane.
Where you could just go up to an Arby's and it's just closed.
When you make the password, it only deactivates it for like 10 minutes. So basically, I walk up to the Arby's and I say, Arcane Lock! And I'm like, okay, now everyone, the password is Arby's Party. And I tweet that out. And then people come up to this Arby's, and if you don't know the secret password, then you can't get in.
Okay, so you are now the sovereign of this Arby's.
Yeah, I become King Arby's.
You become King John of the Arby's.
I was like, beef sheets for all. They can't stop us now.
And then we have some genuinely life-changing second level spells. Like, I would actually pick some of these if I was given the option. These are actually life-changing spells.
Borrow Knowledge, one of the most useful spells. For an hour, you can become proficient in any skill.
That is actually incredible.
But it's not consumed. So I carry like a cool book.
That's even better! Because then you get to carry an awesome book around with you.
It's like, yeah, yo, check out this really dope copy of Pride and Prejudice that I got commissioned. Anyway, I'm gonna do a backflip.
And then we get the second level horseshoe spells. I mean, I think it goes without saying that being able to go invisible is just a power that no one should be able to have. Now we get to the third level spells. I think we should just rip the band-aid off. Yes, Fireball is a detrimental spell. I'm sorry, I know, it's iconic, everyone loves a good fireball, everyone takes it in D&D when they have the opportunity, but in real life, this is a detrimental spell.
But I want it to be known, a fireball is not a nuke. We both agreed on this. A fireball isn't a nuclear explosion, it is a grenade.
Grenade. It's a frag grenade.
It is a frag grenade. So how useful is it to just have a grenade on you every day?
Well, with creative application. Well, okay, I will say very rare application. You have all your smoking buddies gather in a circle and be so careful. And be so careful.
Would you use a hand grenade to try to light 40 smoking buddies at the same time?
You haven't been drunk on 4th of July. Honestly, this spell, no, I'll say it's detrimental. It's detrimental because I know that if I were to have a hand grenade, this is Chekhov's hand grenade.
Chekhov's hand grenade. Yeah, because once you have it, you have to use it. You can't just instantly throw a grenade at your fingertips and not try to find a way to use it. And if you mess up, it will kill you or take off a limb.
Which is bad, but in the hands of someone stupid, could be funny.
Very rare application spells, they would be useful, but like in the most specific kinds of circumstances. We had a good amount of sorta okay and actually useful spells. Most of them have to do with just scamming people, which I'm fine with.
Sleet Storm?
This one is this upgraded grease?
Pretty much, yeah. Just colder grease. I'd say very rare application because it'd be really funny to make someone Looney Tunes slip and fall on their butt.
Wait a minute. Wait a gosh darn minute. We're getting close to Scooby-Doo villain territory.
Oh my god!
Insurance scam!
That's what I was gonna say!
I'm gonna be honest, most of these spells are just life-changing due to the amount of chaos you could cause with these spells.
Create food and water.
Hello, life changer.
Oh yeah. This isn't even like a horseshoe spell. This
well,
is just, there's nothing wrong you can do with this spell.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Fill somebody's car with pasta!
It's 45 pounds. How much is 45 pounds of pasta?
Dude, that's so much pasta. If I were to fill your car with 45 pounds of pasta, would you be upset?
Is it loose or is it?
No, it's loose.
So that's 100 cups of spaghetti.
And the worst part is, the spaghetti kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I think this one, mostly good.
but if put in the wrong hands, could be detrimental.
Once we got to the horseshoe spells, I became slowly more aware of how afraid I should be of John. I don't know why it took this long for me to realize that. John has some tendencies.
Let's see what the next one is. Oh boy.
This is the anti-nemesis spell.
Okay.
I know we've been skirting around the possibility of me being a little bit of a sociopath, but I'm gonna lean into it for bestow curse. Because man, oh man, if I could just slightly inconvenience someone with the worst way I possibly could think of for just a minute.
While the target is cursed, it must make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turn. If it fails, it wastes its action on its turn doing nothing. So this bestow
I can
curse
give
is
people
like,
depression.
you could just give people depression. This would make me a worse person.
This is a horseshoe. I'll say
Yeah.
that, but it's the best horseshoe I've ever come across. Do not gain my ire, or otherwise I will make your shoes always feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Now we're at the 4th level spells. We're starting to lose the balance that we saw in the earlier levels. We're getting to the really powerful ones. Since we got more power, these detrimental spells are extra murdery. Also, they're not very useful spells. They're very much murder spells. Humans in real life have like 5 hit points. Why am I going to need any of these murder spells?
A storm sphere.
Kind of cool for the novelty, but like after I show the homies, really, there's nothing else I can do with that.
But after your appearance on Ellen, it's kind of lame.
Everyone's like, "Hey, do the lightning ball," and it's like, "Yeah, I guess."
And then it lasts for a minute, but after like 20 seconds, they're bored.
Oh God! Oh, that's hell for me.
Yeah.
You just be holding a ball of lightning, and everyone's like, "Wow."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, only once? And I'm like, yeah.
Rare application and sorta okay spells, they all kind of mush together. I mean, some of them are a little more useful than others, but you'd really have to go out of your way to include these spells in your day-to-day activities.
Stone shape. Oh, so you're able to shape something made of rock into something that you want.
Yeah, I mean, cool. I mean, give me a chisel.
Now we have the useful spells, including the life changers, and yes, polymorph is a life-changing spell. It's so obvious that polymorph is a life-changing spell.
Polymorph, before you say anything, keep in mind, when you do polymorph, you have the mind of the animal that you have.
And isn't that so much more simple? Imagine you have the mind of a dog for just an hour. I think there are some days where I think I'm at least a level 8 person to where I could become the giant gorilla. Okay, man, King Kong for just like an hour.
That is detrimental because I feel like you would do a lot of harm as a giant gorilla.
Maybe if there's like a giant banana that nobody's gonna let me have.
There are surprisingly few horseshoe spells in the 4th level category, except we do have giant insects here.
Giant insect.
This one also rips.
This mattress. Put it in the mattress of your nemesis.
I want you to imagine we're at like a place and some guy bumps into me and it's like, "Watch where you're going, jackass." So I pull out of my pocket 10 centipedes. And then the energy changes.
Once we got to the 5th level spells, we decided that the detrimental category would also be the war crimes category. Does casting this spell make you a war criminal? Into the war crime category it goes.
Now, come with me to Nerve Gas City, because we're about to look at Cloud Kill.
I don't want to go to Nerve Gas City. Jesus Christ, it lasts 10 minutes.
Do you know how many horrible things I can get done within 10 minutes?
What do you mean, get done?
Now we have all the spells that range from not very useful to sorta okay to have. I don't think anyone would pick these spells. These are nothing spells. There's no content within these spells. We also have very little amount of actually useful 5th level spells, with some notable exceptions.
Commune with nature, which I feel like is going to be a little less useful.
Wait, no, this one is a life changer. It works on buildings. Never get lost again. I'm in New York City, and now I'm immediately a local. Hey, yo, go down to Jabroni's. Give me a Booker slice and a can of Coke.
I need a bacon, egg, and cheese.
The Yaki way. A little bit of salmonella in there. I'm eating gabagool.
A lot of 5th level life changers I wouldn't want to pick unless I was like trying to get away with some kind of scam, which like, I don't know how well this YouTube thing is going to turn out, but hopefully it doesn't have to come to that.
Creation.
Creation.
Every day, I drive around the great state of Indiana going to Cash for Gold. I create a 5-foot brick of gold, walk into Cash for Gold, receive payment, The brick disappears. I'm in a different state, creating a different brick of gold.
And that's setting us up for the most horseshoe category of the levels. These are the most horseshoe spells I've seen in one level throughout this entire ranking process.
Now, Contagion.
Contagion.
Never
in
mind.
This last 7 days.
This is insane.
Yeah, but like imagine giving your nemesis flesh rot right before regionals.
Oh my god, you'll never make the big acrobatics flip. I'll be the one to do it.
Yeah, and then you'll get that plane ticket to Hollywood.
I get to kiss on Hillary Duff.
But then you accidentally cast Blinding Sickness and now
Around 6 levels when my software stopped recording our audio, and so here's just the full ranking of the 6th level spells. I don't think anyone cares about the 6th level spells. 6th level spells are like the Thursday of spells. No one's looking forward to them. We're really just looking forward to what's beyond the 6th level, the 7th level and up spells, and these, oh boy, welcome to War Crime City, baby. This is also where most spells have like a really heavy price tag. One gold piece is around 650 United States dollars. So a lot of these spells you would not be able to cast. You would have to make it a service for millionaires if you wanted to cast any of these spells. In fact, most of these spells lost their usefulness if they had a really heavy gold cost. Like the insane amount of money for Create Magian. This spell convinced me it was a mistake to look at like the campaign guide books.
Create Magian. Imagine big material components before even looking at what the spell does.
Wow.
You place a vial of quicksilver in a chest of a life-sized human doll stuffed with ash or dust, so super creepy. You then stitch up the doll and drip blood on it. Only, what is a Magian?
The f is a Magian?
What?
You make a tummy! Second tummy! Spend $1 million on a second tummy!
This is just a blue dude. Is this
Oh,
like a thrall or something?
A blue man?
This does cost a fortune, and I think at what point do you just hire a staff of people?
Yeah.
Like at what point do you just get a butler and have like an ethical?
I could pay him a livable wage.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to get a rod. And he's not. I could have him be blue if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
And also, then everyone's gonna ask about the blue man I created, and I can't.
And then you have to tell them about the human doll that you bled all over.
At this point, we are really stretching to find some uses for some of these spells, like Force Cage. When am I ever gonna use Force Cage?
Reverse gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want the coolest music video? Or do you remember that part in Inception where the hallway got all weird? I think very rare application. Anti-Nemesis, of course.
Of course.
You could do this when they're doing the big throw at the football game.
Mm-hmm. And then the ball just goes up. It keeps going up.
No, but then they look the coolest. And then they kiss Hillary Duff. Shit.
Oh, you know what you do is you do this during the big basketball game for the game-winning dunk. You cast reverse gravity on yourself. You fly up into the air, drop concentration, do the most dirt nasty dunk on your nemesis. You win nationals, and then you kiss Hillary Duff.
And he gets so embarrassed he dies. Perfect.
Dies. He has a heart attack and dies, and his parents kill themselves.
We found a lot of life-changing 7th level spells, surprisingly a low amount of horseshoe spells. A lot of these would just make life better without being morally compromising.
Resurrecting someone. Dead for no more than a century. So anyone who has died since 1923. For a diamond worth $650,000.
Wow, who's somebody cool that died?
John F. Kennedy.
Oh, hey America. Do we want another shot on figuring out about this whole magic bullet business? Let's ask the man himself.
Yeah. Or Martin Luther King. You could resurrect Martin Luther King.
Whoa, yo. Racism, it's time for round 2.
But if you did like a GoFundMe and like maybe got a sponsorship from BLM, I don't know if they do sponsorships.
Hey, BLM, I'm doing an ancient ritual. Can you
just fork over $650K?
Don't ask what it's for. I might be getting a big gem.
Trust me.
Yeah, if you guys could buy the Hope Diamond so I could use it. I gotta use it for something. Yeah, Martin Luther King is definitely involved.
Okay, hear me out. You get Elon Musk to donate the money as a publicity stunt to resurrect like Harambe or something.
Oh.
You know?
But
that
then,
gets your name
then
in the
I do
news,
switcheroos.
and now you're the resurrection dude, and then you get the credibility.
Okay, I'm into it. So do a couple publicity stunts just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, you
Like
scam some
resurrect-
rich lunatics who are willing to hear you out.
Mr. Beast, Elon
Mr.
Musk,
Beast,
Joe
yes!
Rogan.
Get
I'd probably be on
Beast.
Mr. Beast channel every week. We got a new diamond.
We got another diamond for John the Resurrector. And today we have 10 actual people who have dead family members. And if they keep their hand on this diamond, we'll resurrect their dead parent.
Going over to the 8th level spells, and you'd be either a war crime or a demigod if you're able to cast any of these.
Except a tsunami.
You shouldn't do this.
Have you seen The Impossible with baby Tom Holland?
No.
Oh my gosh, this movie traumatized me. This movie is about a bunch of white people in Japan who get hit by a tsunami. And look, it's baby Tom Holland! And Ewan McGregor is his dad!
Oh my god. Oh wait! That's a big wife! And then in an Obi-Wan Kenobi voice, he's like, no Tom.
We must get to the high ground.
We must get that.
When you have this amount of power, it's pretty tough to not just become an actual sociopath.
Clone. Okay, huge gold piece cost. However, never die.
Never die, but you do have to explain the clone tank.
This brings us to 9th level, which is just pure insanity. If the spell component doesn't have the biggest price tag, these spells are insane. First of all, the murder spells in this level are just awful.
Weird. You manifest the worst possible fears, and at the end of the frightened creature's turn, it must succeed a wisdom save or take 4d10 psychic damage.
Oh wow, that's a war crime. Also, it's crazy that's just called weird.
Weird.
Hey, whoa. I just killed a room full of people.
Isn't that pretty weird, huh?
That's kind of quirky, huh?
Did you just see those mofos claw the eyes out of their skulls and then croak? What a wacky set of circumstances.
Waka waka. Oh, I won't have what they're having.
And then, after ranking all the other 9th level spells, we finally get to the spell that all the casters dream about once they finally hit the coveted 9th level spells. This is the spell to end all spells. We are getting to Wish, which belongs firmly in the horseshoe category.
I feel like there have been so many stories, movies, shows that tell you that you cannot have unlimited power because you will become evil.
You will become evil, or like if you just wish for something the wrong way.
It could really mess things up, and also it's so much power.
I mean, you can fill your nemesis's car with 45 pounds of spaghetti. Imagine 90.
I wish a 1 ton's worth of spaghetti, a metric ton of spaghetti, crushes my nemesis's house.
Not even. I wish my nemesis's house was always filled with the spaghetti. A never-ending portal to the spaghetti dimension. And that's why Wish is a horseshoe. Do.
Hi, it's 3 in the morning. Something came up while I was editing. The YouTube channel is now at 1,000 subscribers. I'm not the kind of person who puts personal value on having a big number on your social media site, but while making videos, I discovered that my favorite part, the best part about making videos, is collaborating with others. It's meeting people within this tabletop creator community and making something with them. And if it weren't for that big number next to my name, then they probably would not have gotten back to me. People don't really take you seriously when you have like small numbers, but when you have a big number, people take you more seriously and they're more willing to collaborate with you, which that's the best part. That's what this whole thing is about. I never thought anyone would be willing to collaborate with me, no matter what my number was. But then I met people like Phasa, Megaphone Man, Ryan and Mel, and then, John Sand, who I just made this video with. And I never expected to have the time of my life making videos with these people. But that's what happened. And if I didn't have that big number, none of that would have happened. So, main takeaway, big number good, but not for the self-validation, but for building a community, which is, that's what it's all about. And I still have not fully processed getting 1,000 subscribers. I'm sorry this video took a while to come out. There was genuinely 11 hours of footage that I had to edit through, but it's probably the most fun I had making a video. Thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.